Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and I'm back after another little break. We had some roadworks right outside the shop, which meant that a jackhammer was in use during shop hours, before shop hours, after shop hours for the last few days, a few holidays as well. But I'm back. I've got some new stock to talk about. Something that we get asked about all the time, especially since I did the 10 World's Best Sopranos videos, is Magic Fluke ukuleles. The Fleas and Flukes have been around for 20 years this year. They started in 1999, I believe, at the NAMM show, 1999. And that design has just endured all the way through. I don't think there's been many changes to it. Today we're going to look at the M10s, the M20s, M30s and some M40s. I'll give you an idea of what the differences are between them, because until yesterday I found it quite confusing, and I've been selling them for nearly a decade. So Magic Fluke ukuleles, the Flea and the Fluke. The Flea design being the smaller design. The design that's more curvy with a flat bottom so that you can rest it when you enjoy your pint in the middle of the evening, and you can pick it up and it's all good and you carry on with your evening. The Fluke design also has a flat bottom but a longer elongated kind of triangular shape about it, like the boat paddle ukuleles that many of you own and have seen in the past. So I've got a few different designs for you. I've got some patterns, I've got some plain colours, I've got some solid tops. I'm going to explain the differences between them as I go. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's nice to have a cameraman. I've got Phil with me today. Give the camera a little shake. Say hi, Phil. Yeah, there you go.
Morning, guys.
Oh! And yeah, we're going to start with a Tiki Surf, one of my favourites. Let's begin. Okay, the first ukulele we're going to look at today is a Flea. So the Flea is the smaller shape by Magic Fluke. It has wider sides going out with a flat bottom. And there are a few features and a few things that you can change up on these. For example, your average M30 will have a plastic fingerboard and bridge. It will have these friction tuners on a maple neck, but this is an upgraded super version, so it has a kind of special top. Underneath this screen print here is an Australian hoop pine laminate, so a laminate pine top with the Tiki Surf decoration on this particular model, but they come in all shapes and sizes. That's the wrong thing to say. They come in all, they come in this shape, this size, but lots of different colours and lots of different finishes. This one has a hardwood fingerboard as well. I couldn't confirm for sure that it's walnut, but I thought it was walnut. I did look on the Magic Fluke website and got a bit confused and had run out of time, but I'll make an amendment in the bottom if I'm wrong. But let's assume for this video that it's a walnut fingerboard on a walnut neck, which is an upgraded thing to go with the hardwood fingerboard. This one as well has a wooden bridge, which looks slightly more like walnut than the fingerboard here. And yeah, the friction tuners, which is something that you can upgrade as well. The only problem we might come into here is that here in the UK, we have a distributor for Magic Fluke. We don't deal with the company directly. So the distributor at this time mainly focuses on bringing in models with friction tuners, because they're lightweight and dramatically reduce the cost of these instruments. And we do a smattering of plastic fingerboard and hardwood fingerboard options, but you would have to go to Magic Fluke directly, I think, if you wanted something that was kind of all singing and dancing. We could deal with it for you, but I think that the cost, to bring the cost down, you do need to kind of limit your options a little bit. So the Tiki Surf's one of the more popular tops, and that's something that we tend to stock most of the time. That ABS plastic back and sides is hollow to the touch there and a bit more rigid on the sides, and you'll find that across the range. But they sound great, they feel great, they're portable. I feel like if you hit someone with it really hard, you wouldn't necessarily damage the instrument, but you would do some harm to the other person. The friction tuners are a bit fiddly, but they are good. You know, like, they hold their tuning, they just take a little bit of getting used to, and some people do struggle with them, I must confess. Finally, these have D'Addario Nile Tech strings. Yeah, just a great ukulele made in Springfield, Massachusetts in the USA, and an accessible ukulele for everybody. Yeah, great uke, let's give it a play. Okay, the second ukulele we're going to look at today is another Flea. This Flea is a bit special. It has a concert neck with a 15.5-inch scale compared to the Tiki Surf we just looked at, which is a 14-inch scale, soprano, but the bodies are the same. So think of this as a long neck soprano. This is the Flea M40 with the mango finish on that Australian hoop pine laminate top. This one has the plastic fingerboard and bridge. The plastic fingerboard has plastic frets, which many people have asked, oh, that might wear away over time, but actually in 10 years I've never had one customer come back to me or one traded in with even the remotest bit of wear in the fingerboard. Have you ever seen one, Phil?
No, not at all.
No. Yeah, the plastic fingerboard is just another thing that it won't get exposed to the elements. You don't need to lemon oil a plastic fingerboard. If you do, you'll be slippy slidey all over the place. This has a maple neck, and one thing I forgot to mention on the soprano is that these Fleas have a 36mm nut, as well as those friction tuners again here at the top. I must confess I prefer the look of the maple neck, and the way that the maple neck is carved on the Magic Flukes is pretty interesting. It's got a very flat point on the back, which I find very, very comfortable as I kind of move my hand up the neck there. I mean, obviously I play this way around, but as I fret chords and hold them down, my thumb just naturally finds the right place in a way that it doesn't on instruments that are 4 or 5 times the price. It's just a really comfortable instrument, really well designed. Once again, you've got the Nile-Tech strings, and you've got that ABS plastic back and sides. Yeah, just the M40 is a little bit less popular than the Sopranos because it's a little bit less travel friendly. But with a 15.5-inch scale, if you wanted a good concert, but you wanted something that had a pineapple style sound and feel to it, this would be perfect. So yeah, I'm going to give the M40 a play and see what you guys think. Okay, next ukulele I'm going to look at today is a Fluke M10 Concert. I think probably one of the most popular designs here. This is just a natural laminate Australian hoop pine top. Got there in the end, didn't I? And the natural finishes and the normal kind of just standard colours like this and the M40 before it are considerably cheaper than the pattern tops. You know, this would set you back around, you know, just marginally pre-Brexit 2019 price, looking like £270, but to have something with a decorated top would cost you probably about £330, so a significant upgrade. This also has that polycarbonate plastic fingerboard and bridge with the ABS plastic on the back and the maple neck with the friction tuners. The concert design, really the only difference between this and the M40 before is the body. This has the Fluke design body, which is, as you can see, significantly bigger. Produces quite a different sound. So really it just comes down to what kind of sound you want. It's a little bit less portable than the Flea, but I think I prefer the Fluke design. When you put it on the floor, it kind of sits there nicely. It's really inviting. I feel like it's an instrument that will age as well. If you have the natural finish, they just look a bit battered after a while, and that's a good thing. So yeah, 36mm nut once again, in case I forgot. Let's give it a play, see what you think. Okay, cowboys and cowgirls, this next ukulele is the Fluke M20 Tenor. So we're up to a 17-inch scale neck now with that Australian hoop pine laminate top. This, as you can see, has the cowboy design on the top here, but you get plenty of different options. For example, we quite often get one here with the kind of surfy stripes on the top. All sorts. You can get laser cut sound holes. This is my favourite though, and this is one that's always been quite popular. This has the plastic fingerboard bridge combination with the ABS plastic back and sides. Something to note on this model is that it has a walnut back on the, or a walnut neck, not back, and this has a maple neck. So I wonder if this is something that is customised from model to model. It's not something I have the answer to, I'm afraid. Sometimes, as dealers, we just get what we're given and we run with it. I think there's not really a difference in feel between the two. The necks are carved exactly the same and they are comfortable. But one thing to note on the tenors is that you get a dot halfway up the neck and you get a 38mm nut. You've still got friction tuners, which isn't a popular decision for quite a few people on the tenor size, but somehow the Magic Fluke gets away with it. I've never had a problem keeping a Magic Fluke in tune. I think if you do play them and you find that they're not staying in tune quite so well, then it's probably worth trying some lighter strings. These strings, these Didario Niletecs, are, I find, the equivalent of an Aquila hard tension string. So the factory strings don't really do it any favours in that respect, but just another great uke. I love the Flukes, I love the Fleas, but the tenor one is the most popular. This, along with the the concert version here with a 15.5-inch scale, they're the ones people go for. And one final interesting note, I've not tried this before, but when doing my research for this video, I found that Magic Fluke claimed that the tenor ukulele can handle DGBE strings and work kind of sufficiently with high D DGBE strings, which is something we can supply you with here at SUS. So if you're thinking, okay, well I want a kind of tenor paddle instrument, but I want it tuned that way, I'd love to give it a try for you all. So we're going to give this Fluke M20 a try in the meantime, and if you love it, then giddy on up and buy one, whatever you want. Okay, this next bad boy is the Flea M30 with a solid Koa top. This is a different ball game now. You're looking at about 20% more expensive than the normal models, but this solid Koa top gives it a completely unique sound. We featured this video in the world's best 10 soprano video not that long ago, and it was very, very popular, despite being one of the cheapest, maybe the cheapest ukulele on that list. People just rave about these, and I love them too. I'm delighted that they're finally getting the attention they deserve, because for a long time they were few and far between, and when they came in they'd go out so quickly that we wouldn't really be able to feature something like this on the video. But they are in better supply now, so let's just run through the specs. This has the walnut fingerboard and bridge with the walnut neck, the 36mm nut there. One thing I didn't mention, all of these Fleas and Flukes have a 0 fret, which is just fantastic from the perspective of getting a clean note, intonation. Just a 0 fret is a must. If you can get one, then don't hesitate. So this has the friction tuners there as well. Yeah, just the Koa top is the thing we need to listen out for. So really we need to hear the difference between this and what that extra 20% in price for the solid top gets you, don't we? Let's give it a play and see what you guys think. Okay, and the next ukulele we've got up is the M40. For those keeping score, the previous ukulele was the M30 with the soprano scale of 14 inches Koa top. This is the 15.5-inch concert scale with the Koa top, ABS plastic back and sides, walnut neck, select hardwood, possibly walnut fingerboard and bridge, with the friction tuners and the 36mm nut. If you're just joining us at this point in the video from clicking on a listing, I recommend going back and watching the whole video, because we're just now getting up to the expensive Fleas and Flukes, but you will be impressed by the standard models and the screen printed models, because I always am. We'll give the M40 a play and let's see what it does differently to the M30 Soprano. Okay, the final ukulele we're going to look at today is something that people have been requesting for a long time. This is the Fluke M20 with the solid Koa top. The solid Koa top paired with the select hardwood fingerboard bridge combination. This ABS plastic back and sides with the 38mm nut and the friction tuners. If you're just joining us and you've not been watching the video, I'll just very quickly explain. Friction tuners on a tenor, normally a bit of a no-go, but they work quite well on the Magic Flukes. You might find that if you're custom ordering from Flea or Fluke in the future, you may want to pay quite a bit extra for some peghead geared tuners, but I've always found the friction tuners to be absolutely fine as long as you don't use super hard tension strings. This has a 0 fret, which is just only a good thing on a ukulele where it's already quite hard to get the intonation spot on. There's not really any room for adjustment on a Flea or a Fluke, but they're never, so far in the 10 years that I've been selling them, I've never found one that needed a massive amount of adjustment, so you're absolutely good to go. This one has the walnut neck as well with that flat point, which makes them incredibly comfortable on your thumb as you go up and down the neck there. I found everything about the Fleas and Flukes to be really, really well thought out, and that's why they probably haven't had to change their design for 20 years. Great company, great ukuleles, the final one of the day. One of these in the UK just before the end of October 2019 will set you back around £430, so it's very much a deluxe priced ukulele compared to some of the other Fleas and Flukes out there. We're going to give it a play, hope you guys like it. So there we have it. We've looked at pretty much all the combinations of Magic Fluke ukulele that you could ever imagine up in your head. But if you have your own idea, I would recommend getting in touch with Magic Fluke directly. They do custom screen printing onto the tops of instruments. So if you're an artist, this could be a really good way to express yourself on a musical instrument. Lovely company to deal with as well. Phil and I have met them at the NAMM show. I've met them a few years now, and just a lovely family-run company, and a company that I have no problem featuring in the videos here for Sus, because I hope that we continue to do Magic Fluke forevermore. A really lovely ukulele. Not for everybody. Some of you are not going to like that ABS material on the back, but if you want something that will endure with you as you age, but will kind of retain what it was when you first got it, then I think you're going to struggle to find something other than maybe a Blackbird Clara or a Farallon at 4 times the price to really do that for you. Yeah, if you have any questions, please do get in touch. You can email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk, or you can call me in the shop and the rest of the team on 01202 430 820. I must ask, please do contact me about things in the videos. I've had a few very interesting inquiries recently. One person asked me for tips on the beards, one person asked me for tips on shaving your head. Ukulele related inquiries, I'd love to speak to you, and in the meantime, yeah, please do check out the rest of the videos, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next week.